Okay, so here we go again with checking workbook page 114. There's no little video of me down in the corner here because of something we're going to do later on. It won't work with the system I've got. Not that you need to know about that, but no picture of me this time. So what are your answers for the top only of workbook page 114? Well, again, you're asking questions, and they give you the question in the parentheses, so wkbk. You just bring that down onto the next line. Go eska, like you always do after these question words, and then either il or l comes down. Il if it's a guy, l if it's a girl, or ils if it's a they for guys, or els if it's a girl for they, right? And you just write out the rest of the sentence that is there then. Okay, so number one, it says Madam Martin works. We want to ask, where is it that she works? And you see then, where, eska, is it that, L, travail, or you could have also said Madame Martin travail. That's the same idea. Where is it that Madame Martin works? Or where is it that she works? The same idea, right? Où est-ce qu'elle travaille? Où est-ce que Madame Martin travaille? Okay? Number two, Natalie's calling. We're going to say, to who is she calling? À qui. So you bring the à qui down. À qui. Again, est-ce que always goes after your question words. Then Natalie is an L, so you can go L, telephone, or you could also say Natalie, telephone. Same idea, okay? Antoine's organizing a party. They want us to ask when. Quand. Okay, so quand est-ce que, hopefully we have this down by now, quand est-ce que. Then Antoine is a he, so you can go il, or you can say Antoine if you don't want to write il. Organizing boom. I mean, il is easier, so I would write that. Why is he organizing a party? Or when is he organizing a party? I mean, not why, but when. Con is when. I saw the Y down here and I got confused. But anyway, so when is it that he's organizing a party? Con est-ce qu'il organise boom. Thomas and Patrick are studying a lot. So they're studying a lot. We're going to ask, why are they studying? So pourquoi comes down. Then est-ce que, as always. Ils for they, because there's at least one guy. Or you can use up ink and write Patrick and Thomas. But then étude, beaucoup comes right on down, just like you did before. Okay? Helen and Sylvie, they only girls this time. Okay, so we could use L's when we're writing it out instead of Helene and Sylvie. But we start à quelle heure, bring that down. Again, est-ce que, as always. See the pattern, just keeps repeating. L's, we said, from the girls. And then joue au tennis comes down. What time is it that they're playing tennis? And Beatrice studies. Qu'est-ce que is what we're going to be learning in just a moment here. Qu'est-ce que is what? So you just write qu'est-ce que. Notice the est-ce que is already there. So qu'est-ce que, and then Beatrice is a girl, so elle étudie. This one might have been hard for you because I hadn't introduced it to you, but I was going to use it as our jump off into the next thing here, which of course is asking the question qu'est-ce que, which is what? Oops, got the wrong picture for you. Which is right here now. So go to page 123 in the middle bottom there. You see qu'est-ce que. What is it that? Literally, what is it that? Okay? And you see here's est-ce que, as you've always had on these question phrases. You know, où est-ce que, pourquoi est-ce que, quand est-ce que, and so on to the point where you're almost sick of it, right? Well, all we've done is add this QU apostrophe in front of the est-ce que. So now you're saying what, and the QU is the QUE for what. Okay, so what is it that, and then the rest of the question. So what is it that you're watching? Qu'est-ce que tu regardes? And then the answer, I'm watching a tennis match. Qu'est-ce que Alice mange? What is it that Alice is eating? Elle mange une pizza. She's eating a pizza. Okay? So again, you see, qu'est-ce que is what? Put the QU apostrophe if you have a vowel sound, as always. You know, so we write it the way it sounds in French a lot. So, qu'est-ce que, what is it that? And that's all there is to it. You're just doing, instead of putting où, I lost my mouse, there we go. Instead of putting où right there for where is it that something happens, you're putting a QU apostrophe there to say what is it that happens, okay? Or instead of, pourquoi est-ce que, why are you doing something? Well, I'm just taking a QU apostrophe and putting it in front of est-ce que to say what is it that's happening. So that's how you ask what questions in French. It's almost so easy that they don't have any practice on it. I can say, what are you watching? Or what is Eric watching? Right? So, qu'est-ce que Eric écoute? What is he listening? I'm sorry. What is he listening to? I could say, qu'est-ce que tu écoutes? Qu'est-ce que vous écoutez? Qu'est-ce qu'Alice écoutez? and so on. Or qu'est-ce que tu regardes, qu'est-ce que vous regardez, qu'est-ce que Elise regarde. It's that simple. So they don't really have any practice on it. Now you notice right here they have qu'est-ce que tu fais and qu'est-ce qu'elle fait. We haven't ever seen this fait before, and so we want to talk about that real quick here. This is the most common what question you're probably going to hear, and that's what are you doing? So this fait is doing, basically. What is it that she's doing? Okay, so qu'est-ce qu'elle fait? So we need to talk about this faire verb chart as well. So turn the page. Keep that qu'est-ce in the back of your mind. We're going to work with it a little bit, but now look at the faire verb chart here. Faire is another irregular verb like, être, like je suis, tu es, il est, new sums. You got to learn all 6 forms of it. It doesn't follow a pattern that the ER verbs follow, like manger, écouter, and, parler, and téléphoner, and so on, jouer. This is a separate verb. It means do or make, like do something or make something. Not like I'm doing, never mind. I don't want to confuse you by bringing that up. But so it's just I'm doing or making something. So you can see here, je fais un sandwich is I'm making a sandwich. Both in these things in English, make and do, are this one thing in French. So in English now when you translate, you got to kind of make a choice. Does it make sense to say I'm doing a sandwich? Well, maybe if you're watching American Pie, but no, this is I'm making a sandwich makes the most sense. Because the fait, the faire, right there, the faire is both do and make in French. So, qu'est-ce que tu fais maintenant is what are you doing now? Or if I were watching you, in the kitchen, I might say, what are you making now? Okay, so from the context, that fait might be make or it might be do in English, but in French it's just qu'est-ce que tu fais? What are you doing? What are you making? It's the same exact question. Here's that what again. Qu'est-ce que ton copain, what's your boyfriend doing Saturday? Okay, or if we know he was like in the workshop and he's going to be building something, we might say qu'est-ce que ton copain fait samedi? What is he making Saturday? But only in English does the making and the doing change. In French, the qu'est-ce que ton copain fait stays the same for both doing and making. Okay? Nous faisons une pizza. We're making a pizza. We're probably not doing a pizza, right? So we're making a pizza. Qu'est-ce que vous faites ici? What are you doing here? What are you making here? Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Makes a little bit of sense in some situations, but probably what are you doing here? Okay? And qu'est-ce qu'elles font pour le boom? What are they doing for the party, or what are they making for the party if they're cooking some treats or something? Okay? So this is doing and making. You have to remember all 6 forms. Je fais, tu fais, il fait, nous faisons, vous faites, ils font. We're going to put that into your verb chart in a little bit, but first I want to show you some well, we'll come back to this. Okay? So let's open up the front of your workbook cover, and we're going to add this verb chart in just like you did with avoir, or with être, like je suis, tu es, il est, and just like you did with the ER verbs. So this is your 3rd chart now that you need to put on there. So find some space, and you start with faire. Right there, faire is to do or to make, but most of the time you don't use it in that form. You use it in the who's doing it, like je fais, like this, okay? So fait is do or make, and with je, you'd write fait, je fais, okay? The next line is tu again, as always, and that is exactly the same as je, it's fait. So je fais, tu fais, I'm doing, you're doing, or je fais, I'm making, tu fais, you're making. Then I know I'm going kind of quick here, but you can pause this anytime and write it down so I can keep talking. Il and elle is he and she, so fait sounds the same, but this time it has a T instead of an S. So il fait, he's doing or he's making. Elle fait, she's doing or she's making. Again, if you're not keeping up with me, just pause it and write it down into your workbook cover. Nous is up at the top of the next line. That's we, so we're making is nous faisons. Here's that ONS that you're used to seeing at the ends of lots of words, right? So nous faisons, we're making, or we're doing. Vous, y'all, is a little unusual. It's fait. It's got an ES at the end instead of the EZ that you're used to seeing. Okay? It's kind of like et, actually. So vous êtes, like you are on vacation, that ETES. Well, here's that fait, the FAITES, instead of an EZ. And then ils and elles is font, F-O-N-T. Okay? So you want to have that copied down for a quick reference back into your workbook cover, because we're going to use this chart to do combinations with some phrases that are quite handy. Okay, like besides the qu'est-ce que, like qu'est-ce que tu fais, what are you doing? Qu'est-ce que vous faites, what are y'all doing? qu'est-ce qu'ils font, what are they doing, and so on. Besides doing that, you might want to use it with these phrases down here. Faire and match is doing a game. Faire and promenade is doing a circuit, literally going around in a circle. So we might say going on a walk. Faire un voyage is doing a trip, and faire attention is making attention or doing attention or paying attention, as we say. So you notice in English, this is why English is so hard for other people in other languages to learn. Notice that we have play a game, go for a walk, take a trip, pay attention, different action words each time. But it's the same word, faire, in French and most other languages. They follow a pattern that repeats itself over and over again. So if I want to say I'm playing a game, I go je fais on match. The faire here changes based on who's doing it from that chart that we just copied down. Okay? So if I want to say we're playing a game, I go nous faisons on match. If I want to say they're playing a game, ils font on match. See how it works? Or if I want to say he's taking a walk, it'd be il fait une promenade. If I want to say she's taking a trip, it'd be elle fait un voyage. Okay, so you're fitting in the things here over the top of the faire there. That faire disappears because it becomes one of these words here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is just going to be an introduction video about how to ask what and how to say doing or making. We're going to do another video for practicing this stuff because you got to make sure you got this down. So why don't you stop here and try workbook page 114, the bottom, kind of as homework. You do 114, the bottom, and then the next video we'll take a look at that and see if you figured out how to put the faire into those blanks there. So all you're doing is using that faire verb chart that we just did, and you're putting it into the blanks on workbook page 114, and that's what we'll check next. Okay? Hope this is making sense. We'll stop here and tune in to the next video, which we'll call Godfrey French 124. Okay? Godfrey French 124 is the next video. Thanks for tuning in.